How's it going today? Getting ready to go for a run, but thought before I started breathing in this wet air, I'd hang out with you guys for a second and give you a glimpse into the mind of Keith. And that is a scary thing. I don't know much, but I know that I've been doing this for probably a year and a half, where I have expressed my thoughts about life with God and why one can smile when they have a friendship with the living God. And so that idea is pretty humbling. It's probably a great thing for building friendships, is to put a glimpse of who you really are, what you're thinking out there for those who you like the most. So there you go. I really had a radical thought today, and so it goes with the idea of Ecclesiastes 7:1. Greater is the day of one's death than the day of one's birth in the eyes of the Lord. I heard my friend Bob talking today that a stronghold is an idea for which is not true, that is stored in your brain, and you build decisions around that lie, and you just keep doing that day after day, month after month, year after year, decade after decade. And that's a stronghold for which you miss out on the opportunities that life really has. Walk in this abundant, faith focused and spirit-led life. So that's a stronghold, thinking wrong, thinking that something is true that's a lie, and it can affect a lot of different things in your life. But the idea that the physical realm for which we're contained in these bodies is temporary, and it's nothing in comparison to the spiritual realm for which we'll be set free one day, is a big truth. It's a truth bomb we all ought to have lodged in our heads, so the fear of death becomes less and less as time goes on. It's kind of a core principle, I believe. It's why I can live life to the fullest and trust that God has me, regardless of what risk I sense I'm going through today or tomorrow. But what I'm thinking about today, and you're going to have to bear with me and ponder this, is in Genesis 5. It's right around Genesis 5:23. In Genesis 5:23, talks about this man whose name is Enoch, E-N-O-C-H. And Enoch was the dad to a guy named Methuselah. I don't know if you know Methuselah, but he is the oldest recorded man to have ever lived. And according to the historical data in the Bible, Methuselah lived 969 years. Okay? Lock that in your head, 969. That's how many years Methuselah lived. And the challenge for Methuselah is that, imagine what it was like on his 100th birthday. Then think about his 200th birthday. Then 300, then 400, then 500, then 600, then 700, then 800, then 900, and almost, well, you're 2/3 of the way to your 1000th birthday. I don't know how old you are, but I was wondering if this journey gets easier for you each and every day. My experience is it doesn't. His life's challenges compound with time, because the problems I thought I had when I was 1 became insignificant when I was 5. The problems I thought I had when I was 5 became insignificant by the time I was 10. Those that I had when I was 10 weren't any big deal by the time I was 20. Those that I had at the age of 20 weren't any big deal by the time I was 40, and then so on and so forth. And so that the problems that get your attention have to get larger and larger with time. And just imagine if you were given 969 years. What in the world must Methuselah? You think his prayer was, "Dear Lord God, please come today"? I mean, I don't know what he was praying. But here's the part. I mean, that's pretty wacky in and of itself. But here's the part that really grabbed me. When you read that Genesis 5:23, it talks about his dad Enoch, who was a righteous and holy man. And Enoch walked with God 365 years. That's just like one day, 365 days in a year. But he walked with him that many years. And it says God took him, and he was no more. Evidently, Enoch did not die. He just one day was walking down the road, and boom, he was with God, and this physical body was left behind, and he didn't have to endure anymore. And so Enoch just vaporized at 365. And now think about this. Think about poor Methuselah, and he knows that his dad was a holy and righteous man, and that he only had to go 365 years, and then he didn't have to endure this body anymore. Imagine what poor Methuselah was thinking about on his 366, 367, 368, 369, 370, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900th birthday. It was like, Lord, I love you. I care about you. Could you please come quickly? That's the kind of stuff that goes on inside my brain. I think not only was it wild that Methuselah lived that long, but really that under the shadow of a dad that was so righteous that God took him. And I'm not saying Methuselah wasn't, because God treats us all uniquely. But think about those two, Enoch and Methuselah. I bet Enoch was an amazing dad, and I bet Methuselah was too. But I bet today, as you're considering your day, there might be some radical thoughts banging around about who God is and how much he really loves you. But I bet no matter how radical the thought is, you'll never be able to imagine how deep his love is for you, because as deep as you think it is, it's probably infinitely more than that. All right, you have a great day and enjoy this day.